know how to start now. Hello everyone, my name is Dubon and I'm here to talk about China and the population control they have going on. And I know you're probably thinking right now, what the hell do I care, right? I mean, we live in the US, who cares about China? But we actually have to think about it and think about the consequences that their population has over everybody. Now, back in 2001, when I was in the US Navy, I had the opportunity to go to Hong Kong, which is part of China. And for the first time in my whole life, I realized that I was an outsider and I didn't feel comfortable. So here I was, in the middle of Hong Kong and lost and asking people in, my great Chinese, how do you go this, or how do you say this? But anyhow, they have a one-child policy, and in Chinese you'll say something like "Wu Qu Nan Yu Gu Itsu," and forget my Chinese is not that great, I know. Now, going back to the point, in China, families can only have one child, and for us that live in the US, it's crazy because we have the freedom to have as many kids as we want to. If you only want to have one child, it's good. If you want to have two, it's perfect. If you want to have three, who cares? Have 10, 11. But they don't have the freedom to have more than one child. Now, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It all depends on how you see it. First of all, if you have more than one child, you have to pay a fine. And this fine could vary from taking money from you to take land from you, or take the child away from you, which is pretty sad. Now, most families in China would rather have a boy than a girl. Why is that? Well, a boy will carry on the family name, the boy will stay with the family until they grow old, and it will pretty much be there for you when you're old. Versus the girl, she will marry, go to a different province, and be lost, pretty much. You will never see her again unless something out of the ordinary happens. Now, if you want to have a second child, you do have the opportunity, only if your first child is a girl. You can try for a second child, and it has to be a boy. If it's not a boy, they will take it away from you. Now, in China, it is said that about 25% of girls that are born are either killed, aborted, or abandoned. Now, what happens to those girls that are abandoned? They're not the ones that are killed. First of all, they will put them in an orphanage where they will be sent to any country, And here in the United States, 1 out of every 4 adoptions come from China. And 99% of those adoptions are girls. And it's a pretty big number. Now, how is this population control affecting us? China right now is the 4th largest country in the world. It's only behind Russia, Canada, and the US. Now, back in 1950, when Mao Zedong, the great general from China, came into power, he said, what, let's have as many people as we want. We want this country to be prosperous. We want this country to be great. And, he gave people the opportunity to have kids. And it was an incentive. Now, back in the 80s, they realized, the population was growing out of control. So what they did was they implemented a one-child policy and told everyone, if you have more than one child, like I said before, we're either going to take it away from you, we're going to fine you, or we'll take land, money, anything. Right now, a lot of people do have more than one kid, but they don't tell the government. It's like they don't exist, which makes it even worse because this number is not even true. I mean, families in China have a second child without telling the government. So those kids don't come into the census. So we're thinking 1.4 million people lives in China, and 1 out of 7 kids in the world, 1 out of 7 people in the world is a Chinese person. We're just estimating. We don't know for sure how many people. How is that affecting us? Well, as you guys know right now, China is growing big time. Their economy is huge, and eventually, it's happening right now, they are taking control over our economy, and pretty soon, you know, our jobs are going to go away from China, and we have to think about that. We have to think about not only what's going on in the U.S., but what's going on outside the U.S., and realize that we have to be more thoughtful about China and other countries. Thank you.